I hope you like sweet things and have a golden ticket. Because today we're in Gaithersburg, Maryland, exploring SPAGnVOLA. So let's go redeem our golden ticket.
So welcome to SPAGnVOLA. My name is Eric Reed. I'm the co-founder and owner of SPAGnVOLA Chocolatier. I'm happy that you're here today. We are a very unique business. We're vertically integrated. We own our own cocoa farm in the Dominican Republic, and then we also vertically integrate our cocoa all the way through manufacturing, and we also have our own boutique here in Gaithersburg, Maryland. One of the nice things about our business is that we love to educate our customers on where cocoa originates from, and its a whole process all the way until it gets to the consumer's hand. So I'll show you very quickly. Here on the map, we demonstrate the origins of cocoa, where cocoa actually originated. And cocoa originated southern Mexico and Central America, and basically over the years, it started to migrate into the West Indies and into the Caribbean. Then it was transported over to a small island off the west coast of Africa by the name of Sao Tome. And then from Sao Tome, it went into Equatorial Guinea and went through Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, and Ivory Coast. Today, the African region produces about 75% of the world's supply of cocoa, right? So on our farm, this is what a cocoa tree looks like. Once the flowers pollinate it, the pod starts to grow. We then cut the pod open. We remove the seeds and the pulp, and then we ferment our beans, okay? After the beans have been fermented, then we dry our beans. But let me re-emphasize the fermentation of the bean. The bean, when it comes right out of the pod, is very astringent. So fermenting reduces the astringency and replaces it with flavor and aroma, okay? So once we dry our beans, the next step is to roast our beans, and then we whittle them by removing the outer shell, and what it reveals the nib, which is then used to make chocolate, okay? So one of the first things that we do in our factory is we're gonna pre-grind our nibs using this pre-grinder here. What comes out of here is called a chocolate liqueur, or a cocoa liqueur. The next step is to take that liqueur and we're gonna place it inside of this melanger, okay? And this melanger, if you wanna take a look at it if you can, what it does is it has a granite stone and granite base, and it refines that gritty nib into this smooth, silky chocolate. At this point is where we add the pure cane sugar, and then we just let it refine for several days, okay? Once that process is complete, we're gonna pour it out, and then we're gonna take it into the next room and let it age. So I'll show you that. Follow me. Come on in. All right? So just to show you the aging process real quickly, this here is our aging cabinet, and if I pull this out, you get to see the chocolate had hardened, okay? The discoloration in the chocolate has to do with the natural crystals of the cocoa butter, right? And the separation of it. So once it finished aging, our next step in making different types of confections is to crystallize that chocolate, right? So basically the room that we just left is the chocolate maker's room. Is where you take the bean and then you make the bricks of chocolate. This room is called the chocolatiering room. And the chocolatier takes the bricks, remelts it, and makes confections, all right? So part of the confection making process is to crystallize that chocolate. And we have a machine here that crystallizes, and another term for crystallization is tempering. So what it's gonna do is gonna melt that chocolate to 117 degrees. Then it's gonna reduce the temperature down to 85 degrees. Then it's gonna automatically increase the temperature to 89 degrees. At that point, you have a smooth, silky chocolate that's ready to be molded, okay? So as part of our manufacturing process, We make chocolate bars in molds like this. We make bonbons in molds like this. And then we also make truffles. So I'll explain the bonbon and the chocolate bar because we're going to explain it from the mold perspective. So the key thing is to grab your mold. You take crystallized chocolate. We're going to stop the pouring. We're going to put our mold in front of it. It's going to pour down into it, and it's going to fill the cavity. Then we're going to vibrate it. After vibrating, we're going to put it in the refrigerator. When that, we leave it in the refrigerator for about 4 to 5 minutes. Once it comes out, we're going to slam it on the table, and then all 3 pieces will come out, 3 bars at a time. Now, our bonbon starts out in a mold like this. First thing we're going to do, we're going to come over to our paint station here, and we're going to use a little bit of cocoa butter and food coloring. We're going to go ahead and spray, and once we decorate it, the next step is to let it dry, and then we're going to come back over here to our crystallized chocolate. We're going to fill it all the way to the top, okay? After we fill it to the top, we're going to vibrate it, and then we're going to turn it over. We're going to hit it. It's going to pour back out. When it pours back out, it leaves a cavity that looks like this, okay? So now the next step is to make something that we call a chocolate ganache. And a chocolate ganache is made with heavy cream. You bring it to a boil, you infuse it with flavoring, and then you strain it. After you strain it, you add chocolate, you emulsify it by mixing it, and that turns into this nice creamy pudding. So then we're going to take that, after it cools, we're going to put it in a piping bag. We're going to pipe it in to the cavities. After piping it into the cavity, we're going to let it sit overnight. Then we're going to come in the next day, and then we're going to pour a little bit of chocolate on the top just to seal it. And after it seals, we can take it, turn it over, slam it on the table, and then all the pieces come out and they look like this. Okay? And that's how we make bonbons. So again, recap, the other room is where we make our chocolate bricks, and this room is where we make all of the confections. So that side is called chocolate maker, this side is called chocolatiering. And the chocolatiering can make chocolate bars, bonbons, truffles, mousse, cakes, you name it. Anything that's using chocolate in the confection is a chocolatier.
Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions real quick?
Absolutely.
So when was this place founded?
So we actually started the concept of the business in 2009. And we launched the business in 2011.
What made you decide to make chocolate?
It's a great question. So my background is an information technologist. I've done that for about 18 years. And when I met my wife in 1995, we started to invest in agriculture in the Dominican Republic. And as part of that investment, we also were growing cocoa trees on our farm. So we decided at some point that we really weren't making enough money in the Dominican Republic selling our crops in country. And we were growing, and we still grow, mangoes, tangerine, oranges, avocados, papaya, and other tropical fruits, including cocoa. So we just weren't making enough money in the Dominican Republic, so we decided to pick one of those commodities and vertically integrate it into our own product. So that's when we decided that we would use our cocoa beans and make our own premium chocolate.
So with all the flavors you guys offer, how do you guys decide what flavors to use?
Well, that's really a question for the chocolatier. However, we make 5 different types of chocolatier. We make a 70% dark chocolate, 75, 80, a 62% semi-sweet, and a 54% milk chocolate. So the milk chocolate and the 62% is used as part of the ganache, okay? But the flavor that my wife chooses, like for instance, she makes a raspberry jalapeno. It's amazing. She also makes a olive oil, different types of olive oil truffles. She makes a lavender truffle, which is one of my favorites. In the bonbons, I love the blueberry. My wife loves the raspberry. And I also love the banana caramel.
I really like the pistachio.
The pistachio, that's really good also.
Could you tell me what you would say makes this place unique when you compare it to all the different kinds of other chocolate factories?
So I would say about 95% to 98% of the world's supply of chocolate comes from mainly the African region in terms of the cocoa that's used to make that chocolate. Again, 75% of the world's supply of cocoa beans come from Africa, and about 90-something% of chocolate is made with those beans. As I demonstrated, the trees, the cocoa trees, didn't originate from Africa. They actually came from the Americas, right? But what differentiates the quality of the chocolate starts from the quality of the harvest and its process, okay? So the key differentiators between what we do and what your typical farmer does is that we control the whole process from cultivation to harvest to post-harvest processing and then the manufacturing component. That starts the uniqueness of our product and its quality. While other chocolatiers in the world, majority of them are actually, almost all of them, don't make their own chocolate. They rely on large manufacturers to provide them their chocolate for them to remelt it and make their confections. So SPAGnVOLA really stands from a very unique perspective that we control our entire quality assurance from cultivation to finished product, okay? So that's what sort of separates us from your traditional chocolatier and chocolate makers.
When do you guys offer tours?
So our tours are on the weekend. We're only doing them on Saturdays. We used to do them on Sundays, but it's become very difficult for us to do it. We don't charge anything for the tour because we believe it's educational, and we also believe that it's a way for us to promote our business. So our tours are between the hours of 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Saturdays. And then we do also offer chocolate making classes. So if you have a group of people that of 10 or more, less than 20, that would like to come in and learn how to make chocolate truffles, we have classes for that. And you could give us a call and we can arrange that. We also do birthday parties. We also do wine and chocolate pairing events and corporate events here also.
So I heard that in the National Geographic, you guys are in the top 10 world's best chocolate shops. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. Well, it was an honor. In 2016, we found out that one of the editors at National Geographic named SPAGnVOLA one of the top 10 world's best chocolate shops. And it was an honor because if you take a look at the list, we were really the only ones selected in the United States. So that was pretty awesome. This year, we're completing our 8th year in business in February. So to be named that in 2016, it was really an honor. And I believe that it has a lot to do with our educational tours, and it also has to do with the fact that we have a really good corporate social responsibility in terms of how we treat our farmers and our process, right? So I think that all of those things influence the decision. We believe we have one of the world's best chocolates. That's what we believe. And our customers tell us every day that they also believe that. So it at least gives us an indicator that we are doing the right things. So I thank you for asking the question. Again, my name is Eric Reed. We're located here in Gaithersburg, Maryland in the Catlins. You can also find our products and information online at www.SPAGnVOLA.com. Thank you so much, and we look forward to you joining us here in our boutique in the month of February. So make sure you bring your girlfriend, your wife, your mother, anyone you love. You bring them here to the SPAGnVOLA Chocolatier, and we promise you that we'll prepare a nice heart shape with tons of chocolate, premium chocolate for you to enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our show. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and social media. If you have any suggestions on places for us to explore, be sure to visit our website in the description below. Until next time, we're out.